We could expect major changes in funding for Tennessee's SNAP Food Assistance Program in the next few years.
A new state report shows the state could be required to cover a larger chunk of the cost, putting a financial burden on the state and pressure on families who rely on SNAP benefits. Catherine Vaughn has more.
Tennessee could be paying more than $165 million to keep the program funded at the same level. We heard from our local food banks about what this could mean. A report from the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth shows a large portion of the cost to cover SNAP could fall into the hands of the state as a result of the federal cuts that have left many nonprofits feeling overwhelmed and underfunded.
Food pantries across the country, we're all talking about how do we continue to serve our working families, especially if benefits like SNAP are affected.
Starting in 2027, Tennessee would cover 75% of administrative costs instead of 50%. This amounts to nearly $36 million more than what they paid last year. And this data only includes children, which account for less than half of SNAP users statewide. So this number could be even higher. But the biggest cost difference would come from a change in 2028, when Tennessee would have to pay up to 15% of the benefits cost, depending on how many mistakes are made when issuing benefits. Last year, Tennessee's error rate was 10% and cost the state nothing. Under these new changes, that would have cost Under these new changes, that would have cost the state around $73 million. Melissa Blevins says these huge cost differences could put families at risk, especially those with specific needs.
Programs like SNAP are especially critical for those families because they can get the type of food that those children need and desire, not necessarily the food that we may have in our food pantry.
Blevins says working families qualifying for SNAP benefits have been on the rise, which takes the strain off of food banks. But new financial burdens could lead them back to local food pantries.
They make a good living, they just may not have enough to cover the cost of groceries at the store. And so with any type of changes in SNAP benefits, it's going to put more pressure on us to be able to meet the nourishment of our neighbors.